Buenos dias, and dobro jutro for my last day here, not in Split, but still in Croatia. Now, in this video, I want to briefly reflect on the Cosmoverse conference, the 5th edition that just took place in Split here in Croatia. Also, I want to reflect on the state of the Cosmos ecosystem and also some thoughts on Atom, the roadmap ahead, and also what's coming next year on Crypto C2. But first off, big shout out to my core team, Roberto Casa, our marketing director, who's done a phenomenal job in building out the Cosmoverse brand and catering it also to institutions and enterprise. Also on new platforms. We have not really been active on LinkedIn, but this year we have really tripled down on LinkedIn, and it's been working really well for us to get connected and to also cater the brand and the conference to a new audience. And also Zach, who's been with us basically since day one and is leading the venture side, the executive lounge, the pitching competition, and is just overall very deeply involved in the organizational process of the conference, which has been a lot of work this year. But I think in hindsight, we're very, very glad how everything worked out. The feedback we got was very positive. Everyone that came had a very good time on ground at a conference, networking and all those kind of things, which is the number one most important thing. Now, why has this year been so different? Well, mainly because we have been targeting a very, very different audience. We have been bringing in a lot of institutions and enterprise from the region, which we've always been doing very lightly in the past. If you remember, in Medellin, we had the mayor's office in Medellin giving the opening speech about the city of Medellin. Then we had Rudaina involved. We also had a couple of organizations, a couple of banks. Bancolombia, for example, was also in Cosmoverse Medellin in 2022. We also had people representing the government. We had Vodafone, we had Deutsche Telekom at Cosmoverse in Istanbul, also last year in Dubai. So we also had a little bit of enterprise representation, but this year we really doubled and tripled down on that. Also because that's generally where the ecosystem is going. And to recap the first point, I think we're at a point now where we have to accept and really recognize that the old Cosmos has died. And that means that the on-chain ecosystem is no longer existent as it was 2, 3, 4 years ago, right? Strategically, the direction that Cosmos is taking after the leadership change that took place around a year ago, I think that is also definitely a big reason why many of these startups and organizations are migrating to other chains, are just leaving Cosmos or just going elsewhere. And I think thirdly, also simply because the internal vibe after 2, 3 years of bear market, it's really showing like who has the endurance, the patience, and the core fundamental belief to still stick around in this ecosystem, and who doesn't, right? And then there's also many other factors like the Atom 1 situation with Jay Kwon, who I deeply respect as a innovator, pioneer, and builder in the space, right? But the tone wars, I would say, are really getting out of hand almost. I have not really followed that much in the past 2, 3 weeks, obviously, for obvious reasons. But here and there, I saw some things, and it's definitely wild stuff. Now, directionally, you can argue that where Cosmos is headed, where Atom is headed predominantly, is not something that you're fundamentally aligned with, right? And of course, there are concerns about this. I fully understand that, but we also have to accept, and that's also my conviction, that organizations like, the Revoluts of the world, the Visa of the world, even central banks of the world, they are now joining this dialogue. They want to have a public dialogue about crypto, about Web3, and they will go on chain, right? Everyone will go on chain eventually, and the Cosmos stack is just the best out there that they should all build their chains on, right? And there's different flavors of permissionlessness, from very, very centralized permission blockchains to very public and open permissionless networks. And there's a wide spectrum in between, right? And Cosmos just offers the best stack to build your network according to your preferences, needs, and levels of decentralization that you require. But in the end of the day, these people do not bite. Honor has been an absolute fantastic just person to meet, and like very pleasant, very respectful, very interested, very eager to learn, to connect, to network. This is the guy from Visa, by the way. Same for Andreas from Revolut, who came by on the first day. These people are very, very chill and very fun to speak with and to talk to. And again, they're very eager to connect with builders and innovators. And I think one question I've asked all of them is, why are you even here? Like, why did you even come, right? Even Jürgen Schaaf from the European Central Bank, I asked him, like, why are you here? Like, what convinced you to come here, right? Because they all flew to Cosmoverse. They came specifically for this event. They didn't have any other business in the area that they need to attend. They came specifically and only for Cosmoverse. And I think for me as an organizer, of course, that's amazing to see that those type of people are flying out. But at the same time, I wondered, like, why is that? And I got a very similar answer from most of them. Number one, They, of course, did a full background check on us, on who we are, on our track record, which we have a 5-year track record now. I think I've been doing events even 2 years before Cosmoverse, so the track record is definitely there. The brand is established. And also, I think the fact that we do not have a coin that we're selling, we don't have a chain, we're an independent organization that is not, we don't sell anything. We organize events and conferences, right? And I think that is maybe also something that puts us in a very good position. And lastly, of course, the lineup of speakers and organizations that we had confirmed for this year also gave a stamp of credibility to other organizations to join as well. So overall, very, very proud of what we achieved, very proud of our team, very proud of LP Labs, big shout out as well, who've been doing an amazing job with the designs. You can see every single visual, every single speaker announcement, every single branded item on ground on the website. The transitions on the live stream was all done by LP Labs. The stage, like backdrops and back screens, like absolutely fantastic job. And while I am very excited for the institutions to come and the enterprise and organizations, right? And again, we had very, very good conversations with them. I also always want Cosmoverse to be a home for the community of developers, for the community of culture builders and contributors, right? Like Joe, founder of Bad Kids, Zerg, founder of Mad Scientists, right? We did Mad and Bad 2. We did the first panel last year in Dubai. Now we did part 2, and hopefully in Hong Kong next year we'll have part 3, right? So I always want to have to make sure that Cosmoverse remains a home for cosmonauts. At the same time, we have to see where the industry is going, where the trends are going, where geographically also it makes sense in the frame of the capacities and the resources that we have. And I think that this is overall been a very, very big success. We did, of course, have less attendance in total numbers compared to last year in Dubai for many reasons. Number one, Split is not, of course, a big hub like Dubai. In Dubai, you just have 10 million people that live there. You have a much, much larger native local audience and crypto community. Split is a very small, tiny town that does not has as much of a crypto audience compared to Dubai, of course, or Istanbul. And secondly, also, I think going back to what I said in the beginning about the old Cosmos, the Cosmos ecosystem that is now not as vibrant anymore, or basically dead. There were many, many teams, many organizations, many previous sponsors that we had and teams that were simply not there this year for various reasons, but mostly I would say also for financial reasons. But again, it was very, very nice for especially the European community, of course. It's good to see posts like this where some of the validators that were there that have been with Cosmoverse for many years, some of them have 5 of 5, like Crypto Crew, for example. They've been to every single Cosmoverse so far, and they also came with a full team in full capacity. Many other validators, Finoa, Stakin, the Stake team was there, of course, and a couple others were there. Posthuman came with a full team. So it was great to connect and see many of the familiar cosmonauts that are still there, that are still standing in the ecosystem. We also did a little pitching competition. It was really cool. We had Philip from the Aptos Foundation also, who's leading investments there, ecosystem investments. Then we also had Stipe, who is in the jury. We had Dario from Cosmos Ventures, and it's overall been a very, very big success as well. And congrats to Valt, who actually won the competition. Also big shout out to AJ Ashton, who did a cool video recapping the conference experience from their point of view. He works at Poly, which is a staking platform that is also working with us together at Cosmos Ventures. Now I actually have around 400 gigabytes worth of files that I need to work my way through for the next week, uploading every single keynote, every single workshop, developer stage. We had 2 stages, right? Plus the workshop room. And we also had a media room that we made heavy use of. And we also had a second media stage in our executive lounge. I think you saw a quick picture here in the beginning. This was our executive lounge. And All in Crypto, who's been a very, very good media partner to have and pleasant team to meet. Rupert and Egon, fantastic guys that did an amazing job interviewing a lot of people, including also a quick interview with me on the last day. So that was also very cool to have this conversation, right? And I've been knowing Rupert for some time virtually. We've been doing content together here, but he's just such a amazing guy, great guy to meet in person, a pleasant guy to hang out with. So it's overall been very high profile, high signal people as well. You can probably tell from my eyes even right now that I still need to catch up on fully recovering and getting some good sleep. But overall, again, I'm very, very happy with how everything turned out. Now, if you do not want to wait until I have uploaded all the videos, you can also watch the live stream recap that we have on our channel. You can just simply navigate through. We don't have any timestamps added here yet, but basically this gives you a great overview. Also, a big shout out to Alexandra, who did a phenomenal job in emceeing and moderating for the full 3 days. It's been a lot of work for her as well. Big shout out. She's also the founder and CEO of Thrill Labs, which is an event networking app, the official one for customers as well, where people could match and connect during the event as well. But yeah, that's all for that. I think overall, again, the vibe has been very different. You could really tell that for many people, it's also been a very challenging year, including for myself. It's been a very challenging year because also now, if I compare this year bear market with the 2019, 2020, for me, the big difference is that back then it was just me, right? But the difference was I didn't have responsibility for others, right? For a team. I didn't have a team back then. Now I have a team. I have around 10 people across all 3 organizations, around Zone, around Stake and Cosmoverse, right? And we have vendors, we have partners that we work with for many years. So now it's a very different level of responsibility and pressure that I've been feeling for this whole year. But I think so far we managed it very, very well. And again, we've been undergoing a bit of a evolution internally, which also reflects externally, which also reflects in our strategy, in our target audience, in our approach, in our communications, in our marketing, in our branding. And eventually, this will also reflect here on the channel. This will also reflect on where we are going with CryptoCedo, with the Zone. And once I'm back to Dubai, I'll also chat with Sepmos. Big shout out to Sepmos as well, who has been doing a phenomenal job at holding the fort here at CryptoCedo YouTube channel. And he's been killing it with specifically this video. He did a Zcash video that got around 3K views, where he was just sharing the bull case, right? And I think even before I left to Croatia, he was already very bullish on Zcash. And I think now we're 3x later. And he just nailed it with that one. So congrats, Sepmos, if you're watching this. And also hope that you also enjoy a diverse set of content here on the channel. There's also the Bloomberg interview I did, but that's mostly for Cosmoverse, and a little bit about Bitcoin I spoke there as well. And yeah, congrats again, Sepmos, on that. I actually have some ideas. I haven't shared it with him yet, but how we can also do content together. Maybe in a nice studio in Dubai. I think that would be very, very sick. But we're gonna see. We're gonna sit together after I'm back, and then we're gonna see where things are going now. Where I think it's going with Cosmos and Atom is also another question that people have really been unsure about, as it seems from even post Cosmos, right? There were 3 talks on day 1. You can listen to them on the live stream day 1. The basically first segment after the opening from Professor Primorac, who spoke a lot about his journey, about his political career, and also Croatia and the Balkans. But there was a keynote from Mac, and then Barry, and then Nico. That, to be honest, I still need to watch and listen. Like when I'm at Cosmos, I'm just running around in my mind. It's just at 10 different places at a time. But Robo gave a great recap here on how Atom can benefit from the next stage of Cosmos's growth. And he's also recapping the stuff that was communicated at Cosmoverse, and that the groundwork of that new direction was shared at Cosmoverse, the roadmap, the tech stack, and basically how now Cosmos Labs is trying to, or is planning to, basically sell the Cosmos stack to institutions and use part of their revenue to also buy back Atom, right? So while there might not be a direct on-chain revenue model, there might be an off-chain one. And that off-chain model can actually be also highly impactful, and also it can elevate the Cosmos brand, the Atom brand, and hopefully also the Atom rankings on CoinGecko, because to be honest, it's not been looking good. And there's a million reasons to be very bearish on Cosmos, but there's few reasons to be bullish. And one of them is this enterprise focus. One of them is this recognition that institutions are coming and the Cosmos stack is just the best one out there, right? That's one. The second one could be that Atom is just highly liquid, listed on all exchanges, and has this battle-tested track record, and it's still there. It still exists, right? And that's another one. But of course, there's a million counter arguments and reasons. I'm not even trying to explain or argue that. But yeah, as I stated a couple of months ago, around a year ago, I think, I said that I'm a ride or die cosmonaut, and I think that eventually either I will succeed in a very big time or I will just fail, right? And that was it. But yeah, I'm a ride or die cosmonaut, and I'll stand with that. And basically, this is the key part, how the demand for the Cosmos stack will finally mean demand for Atom. So this is basically what they are proposing, the direction that the Cosmos Hub and Atom is going. And they're already working on this full steam, right? And that's, I think, for the first time ever, at least since I'm in Cosmos, that we have a very, very clear roadmap from the core leadership, from the Cosmos Labs organization, which is basically the operational arm, fully funded and backed by the Interchain Foundation, which has around a $300 million treasury, around 45, 50 people working there full time. And with Meg and Barry being the co-CEOs of that organization, Nico, the CMO, and Robo, who was previously at Stride, is now also working there full time since 1 or 2 months. So that is that. And I think, again, there's a million reasons to be bearish. There's a million reasons to not like this direction. But this is where it's going. And I think this is at least something, right? This is at least the leadership and a direction that we've always been asking for, right? Like, when is the ICF finally stepping up? When are they finally taking the fate of Atom into their hands? And now they're doing it, right? And it might wash some people out, but it will also bring new people in eventually, right? And I think Cosmos has been a great snapshot, a snapshot of the state of the ecosystem, not only in Cosmos, but also to a degree for entire crypto, right? Because everyone is going towards institutions and enterprise. But the difference here is that they all have to sell their token, they all have to sell their coin. And here they're selling the best stack in class, right? It's almost like a cheat code, right? It's almost like an unfair advantage because the Cosmos stack is just so good. It's so battle tested, robust, innovative. It's modular. It's everything, right? It has everything. It has sovereignty and interoperability, the core concepts of what got me hooked in Cosmos in the first place. And it still represents that to date. Now, of course, this does not reflect on the charts yet, at least. And I don't know, it might not, it might never, who knows? I have zero clue, but as it stands right now, it looks really bad. Atom is at $2.88. Many other Cosmos coins are down bad, say 17 cents, which is still relatively good, but Celestia, $1, which is also been the price of their Series B, I think, their final round that they have raised. Injective, $7, ASI below 30 cents, DYDX 31, Atom 1, 191. Akash 61 cents, Osmosis 10 cents. It looks wild. This might either be the absolute end for Cosmos, price will never recover, this is it, or it might pull the comeback of a century, which again, there's a million reasons to lose faith in that. There's a million reasons to be bearish on that, but I'll be here reporting, documenting, and sharing this journey for the next time to come, for the next year, hopefully years to come. And eventually I believe that we'll somehow pull it off. Now, what will definitely happen is next year, Cosmos will come to Hong Kong in the fall of 2026. We do not have exact dates yet, because also there are some other events that we need to keep an eye on. There's venue availability. There's many things that factor in to determine the exact dates for a conference that is a multi-day event with hundreds of people that are flying in from all over the world. So we need to be very mindful in that, but it will be around the same time like it always is, right? Late October, early November. Yeah, that's what I can say for now. You can grab super early bird tickets, which means the lowest price ever that you can get here on Luma. $88 for the super early bird ticket and $888 for the executive super early. 8 is just a very lucky number in Hong Kong and also mainland China. I've actually lived in mainland China for a couple of years and actually studied also Mandarin. So for me, it will be a bit of a comeback coming home. Also, I've been doing a lot of events in Shanghai, China. So actually, I co-founded Crypto Mondays in Shanghai back in the days. We also know a lot of the people that are working now in a lot of crypto projects nowadays from back in the day. But yeah, I'm very, very excited to come back to Asia, to come back to that area specifically. I've also spent a week in Hong Kong around a month ago. I didn't share any pictures there, but I was just scouting venues already and getting connected with some organizations and teams there. I just had a very busy schedule of meetings in Hong Kong around that time. But yeah, very excited for that one. Get your super early bird tickets if you're flexible on the dates. If not, wait for us to confirm the exact dates, and then you can plan better and also plan your trip to Hong Kong, which is highly accessible. Most nations do not need a visa. Ironically, people from mainland China need a visa to go to Hong Kong, but most Europeans, Americans do not need a visa. It's just very easy to get to, and yeah, it's just a great place to be in. Now, finally, I'll leave you with a teaser for an interview that is coming. You can see in my face that I've just been super, super exhausted, but this was a very, very fun interview with Mac and Seb 3.0 from Interrupt Ventures. We did a great interview there, and I hope you enjoyed that one. That will come out, I think, soon on the Epicenter podcast. But it's been very, very insightful. I think I share a lot of my views on Cosmos and the Cosmos community, the state of the ecosystem to Mac, and then also he shared their strategy, their approach, their thinking also around the ecosystem, around enterprise adoption, around what's in the pipeline. And I think one final thought here as we wrap things up is that Cosmos now has actually a very, very decent pipeline of institutions and banks, central banks even. And if that turns out to be actually substantial clients that are using the stack and they're paying Cosmos Labs to build chains for them, to build networks for them, which they're then using to buy back Atom, that narrative alone can elevate the Cosmos brand, right? Sure, there's many ways to make a coin valuable. If you look at the Bitcoin model, right, that is now being accumulated by ETFs and the BlackRocks of the world. If you look at Ethereum, they have a vibrant on-chain ecosystem with Aave, Uniswap, all these DeFi innovations that are happening. Solana has an on-chain ecosystem, but then Ripple doesn't really have an on-chain ecosystem at all, right? XRP token is purely narrative positioning and just this backing of the US banking sector. So there's many ways to position a coin that it accrues value and gets people to buy that coin. One could be an on-chain ecosystem, another one could be enterprise adoption, brand affiliation, right? Brand positioning, showing leadership. There's so many things that factor in here. But yeah, we're going to see where this all goes. I'll leave you that. I have to pack up my bags now and then go to the airport back to Dubai. And hope you, if you were at Cosmoverse, that you had a great time, that you enjoyed the conference, which also I want to say that I think for us, it's always been very important to ensure that Cosmoverse is a standalone, sovereign, independent event in that sense, the same that Cosmos is, because I want people to come to Cosmoverse to really want to network and connect with the people and not to, come to one event and then go to the next one. And then there's 150 side events, all from different ecosystems. No, there's just, you're always in a rush to go to the next event, right? That would be the argument against doing an event of that size around another large conference. But this year it worked really well with a fully standalone event in a very exotic location for many people. But again, the feedback has been very positive and I'm very happy about that. Now, I'll leave you with that and hope to see you very soon here on Cryptocito. Until then, stay safe and be good.